Hey friends, it's Jana here with Stamped in Ink, and welcome to day 10 of my 12 Days of Christmas series. I am so grateful that you're here with me today, and I hope that you are enjoying the 12 Days of Christmas. If you haven't seen the rest of the previous days, you can rewatch them all on the playlist, which is linked in the description of the video. If you're here and you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing and welcome. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing to my channel and make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the other crafty fun that we do here at Stamped in Ink. If you don't know, my name is Jana Edwards and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Corpus Christi, Texas. And this is my second year of doing my 12 Days of Christmas series. Today we're going to be working with the Festive Friends, and I have to say, when I checked the Stampin' Up! Website, the stamp set is actually out of stock, but the dies are still in stock. The stamp set has not disappeared from the website, and it's listed as the date for it coming back is to be determined on our inventory list, so I'm hoping they might get some back. So if you're interested in the stamp set, please click the link, go to my website, and there's a place where you can sign up where Stampin' Up! Will send you an email when the product comes back into stock. All right, so we're going to be using the Festive Friends stamp set and the dies. We're also going to be using the the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. We are going to be creating this cute little card, which is actually a card that I did for I think it was our November, it may have been December blog hop, for our team blog hop. But I just love this card, so I thought we could recreate it for one of our 12 Days of Christmas. We're also going to be creating this cute little treat box with tag out of a 6x6 piece of designer series paper. And this designer series paper is the celebratory Sips designer series paper, and I believe it is on the last chance list right now. So if you want this paper, go grab it. Starting with a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and it's a thick white card base. Then I have a piece of strawberry slush, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then I have another piece of designer series paper here that is, I believe it's 4 1/2 by 3 1/2. Then I have some garden green cardstock that we're going to use for die cutting, and a couple of pieces for our die cutting, stamping, and coloring. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get started with our coloring. I'm going to stamp this cute little snowman, and we're going to go ahead and color him. We're going to do some shading for our tag here and some stamping, a little bit of heat embossing. All right, I'm going to grab my snowman and my Memento Black ink. We will ink him up on this scrap piece of paper, and then we'll color him in. Close that up. I'm going to grab some of my Stampin' Blend markers. I'm using my color lifter. I'm going to be using some gray granite, some strawberry slush, and some cloud cover. And those are the colors that I'm using to color him in. I'm going to start off with my gray granite, and I'm going to use my dark, and I'm going to give him just some shading around the inside of his belly and his scarf and everything, and then I'm going to kind of just blend that all together. I just want some shading on him. Right under his hat here, we're going to do some shading. Of his scarf in a few places, and I'm going to come with my light, and I'm just going to pull some of that color in. Then I'll take my color lifter, and I'm going to blend that color even more and just lift some of that color up. I'm also going to shade right underneath him where this snow is at. Now I'm going to use my color lifter, and I'm going to come in. Let me zoom in real quick. So I'm going to use my color lifter. I'm going to use my brush end, and I'm just going to blend that color into his body. All right, now I'm going to come in with my dark strawberry slush, and I'm going to add just some shading here underneath his, where these dark lines are on his scarf. I'm going to add some shading. Just like that. I'm grabbing my light strawberry slush, and I'm just going to go in, and we're going to color that. And I'm going to grab this one again, and we're going to blend some more. All right, I'm going to go back to my color lifter, and I'm going to add just some white. I'm going to lift some of that color up just to give it some dimension. All right. Now I want to go ahead and I'm going to go back to my gray granite, and I am going to just do some shading on his hat. I'm going to go over it again with my color lifter and just blend that color into the white of his hat. Okay, now I want to go to my light cloud cover, and we're going to color his hat in. I'm going to grab my dark cloud cover. I'm going to go over those same lines. And I'm going to use my light again, and we're going to just blend that. All right. And I'm going to go up. I'm going to skip this one and go up to the next one. Moving back to my dark again. And then we're going to do this one right here on the tip of his little hat. And I'm grabbing my light, and we're just going to blend that color. We're going to blend it here. Forgot his little pom-pom, so I'm going to add some gray granite to that. Now I'm going to go in with my strawberry slush, and we're going to color the remaining stripes in his little hat here. I'm always starting with the dark first and then blending with the light. Now remember, you don't have to go exactly up against the lines because these markers will soak into the cardstock a little, so they will bleed over your outline. Oh, wrong one. I'm going to use my color lifter again, and we're going to go through and just lift some of this color off of his cap. Then I'm going to grab my Timid Tiger, and we are going to color in his little nose. That's light. I need my dark. Okay. Now we're going to grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and I'm going to cut out our snowman. I want our piece of garden green to cut out our tree, and then we're also going to cut out our little tag. So we're cutting out our tree, cute little snowman, and our tag, and our label. And grab some Post-it note tape right here and tape him down just in case he moves. We have our tag, our little tree, and there we have our cute little snowman. So now we have all of our die cut pieces. I am going to set this aside, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on our tag. So I want a piece of grid paper, and I want a blending brush and my cloud cover ink pad, and I'm going to just shade right in the center of this tag. Now I want to grab the snowflake stamp out of the stamp set and my cloud cover ink. We're going to ink that up. We're going to stamp a snowflake here, a set of the snowflakes right here. Just randomly stamping some snowflakes. Okay, then I want to grab the tree stamp from the stamp set, and we're going to heat emboss the tree. So mount that to a block. All right, so I'm going to take the tree and I'm going to use my Versamark ink pad. Stamp it on the tag. We're going to sprinkle some silver embossing powder onto the tag, and then we're going to heat emboss this. I'm going to stamp it right about here. Let's see. And I got a little right here, so I'm just going to dust that off with my brush. Grab my tweezers so I don't burn my fingers. And we're going to grab our heat gun and just heat emboss this. See how that turned silver? It's all heat embossed now. All right, we're going to set that aside. Let that dry. I'm going to grab this piece of strawberry slush. We're going to run that through our embossing folder in our machine. We want to layer it in our embossing folder. Then layer it in our machine, get our sandwich right, and then we'll come out with a beautifully embossed piece. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna build my layer. I want this piece of cardstock to go just like this. This piece of designer series paper is gonna go cattywampus on this piece of embossed paper. Okay. All right. Now that I have this, I want to take and glue our tree. Actually, I'm going to glue our tree to the back of our snowman right down here at the corner. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on the front of this front bottom corner of the tree, and I'm going to stick him down to the snowman's hip right here, like this. So that when it's on the tag, I can pop them up. I can pop them both up with Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some dimensionals and put on the back of our snowman. One more right there. This is the faux linen ribbon. So I'm just going to measure out 2 equal pieces, maybe 6 inches long. Then we're going to feed these through the hole in our tag. I think I probably got too much here. All right, so I'm going to take a piece of the grosgrain ribbon, the garden green grosgrain. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of the garden green chevron ribbon and tie it around the top of this and just tie a bow. And then we're going to tie it down just as far as we like it, and then we're going to trim our tails here. I'm going to trim the tails on this. Then I'm going to add some glue to the back of this tag. We're going to glue the tag down. Then I'm going to take my dimensionals off the back of our snowman. And I'm going to add him to our tag just like this. So we want to grab our label and our basic gray ink, and we're going to stamp We Wish You a Merry Christmas in the middle of our label there. I'm going to take our label, we're going to thread it through the ribbon, tie our bow, and then I will stick a Stampin' Dimensional onto the back of this tag here. Get it positioned how we want it. Okay, I'm going to grab a mini dimensional and we're going to stick that right on the back of the tag and glue that down just like that. All right, now I want some glue, some of our liquid adhesive onto the back of this embossed panel, our finished panel. We're going to adhere it down to the front of the card, and then we'll work on finishing off the card with some embellishments, some more Wink of Stella. We'll finish off the inside of the card a little bit. So for the inside of the card, I'm going to take my cloud cover. We're going to stamp our little snowflakes right here in the corner. I am going to use my brush, my blending brush that I had earlier, and I'm just going to add, I'm not even going to put any more ink on it. I'm just going to use what's on there and go over that. Then I want to add some Wink of Stella to our little snowman's hat. I'm going to add some right along here to his belly, just so he looks like he's been outside in the snow. Don't forget his little pom-pom. I want some right under the band of his hat, right above his scarf, just some highlights. I want a little Wink of Stella on these little snowflakes here, just above his head, and just down here underneath the embossed tree. Then I'm going to go inside the card, and we're just going to paint some randomly over this spot here. Okay, and then I want some of our 25 to 27 in color dots, and we're going to use the strawberry slush color. And there's our cute little card. So easy. Okay, so now we're going to start on our cute little treat bag. Made from a 6x6 piece of designer series paper. So we have our piece of 6x6 celebratory sips designer series paper. I have cut out one of the tags using strawberry slush cardstock, another tag using white cardstock. I've cut out our label in white cardstock, and I used one of the dies from the die set to cut out this little snowflake. And there are dies in the die set also that will cut these snowflakes out of your paper. We're going to go ahead and score our 6x6 piece of designer series paper. So I'm going to use my Simply Scored, and I'm going to score it at 1 3/8. 1, 2, 3, 1 3/8. Then I'm going to turn it to the right, and I'm going to score it top to bottom at 2 3/4, 2 3/4, and 5 1/2. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to score it at 1 3/8, but I'm only going to go down to this first score line here. I'm not going to go all the way down. So 1 3/8, and then 4 1/8. And again, I'm only going to go down to that first score line. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish on our score lines. We're going to fold on this line, then we're going to fold on this 1/2 inch score line here. We're going to do the 1 3/8. This 1 3/8 is going to be your bottom of your bag. This will become the side, and then we're going to fold it one more time. These other score lines down here, this is where we're going to cut. So you won't fold those, we're going to cut those. So we'll grab our scissors. And on this 1/2 inch line, there's a rectangle here at the bottom. We're going to completely remove that rectangle. And I just miter cut. I just cut this edge at an angle, and I didn't get that all the way. There we go. So I'm going to come up on our edges here, and we're just going to cut up these score lines to that first score line there. And we're going to cut those 4 corners like that. Then I want some tear and tape. I'm going to grab some tear and tape, and we're going to put it along this line here. We're going to put it just along this 1/2 inch line right here. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up, take that backing off, and we'll close up our bag, our little treat bag box. I'm going to fold this in. This side is going to come over, and those 2 edges are going to marry up perfectly. So this will now become the back of your bag. So you have kind of like, it's almost like you took a toilet paper roll and squished it. because there's no other score lines, just these two. So if this is the back of your bag, this is going to be the front. So when you open it, so this flap here, so if you're looking at it this way from the front, the right flap at the bottom is going to be the last flap that you close. Okay? So if this one is going to be the front, then this one will be the back, directly across from it. So we're going to want to, so you're going to kind of pry it open this way. So you want to close that one, then this one, and this one, and then close it to the back. Okay? So I'm going to take my, my Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal Plus, and I'm just going to go ahead and start putting some adhesive. So I'm going to close our bag. I'm going to do this one more time. This is the back of our bag. So this is the front. So this right side, this is the front. So this right flap here is the one that's going to close last. So I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal on the inside of that. All right. I know this one's going to close first, and then this one will close next. So I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal here. So this one will close first. This one closes next. Then I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal to this one, or Stampin' Seal Plus is what I'm using. It got out of whack. Hold on. Okay. So that one closes first, that one closes next, and then this one closes after that. Then you want to grab your bone folder or something and just go in the inside of the bag and just press down and make sure that it's pressed down. Okay, I'm going to grab my hole punch, my 1/4 inch hole punch, and now I'm just going to go in and punch a hole. I've got some Hershey's Nuggets that I'm going to just put down in my bag, like so. All right, now I'm going to grab our tags, and we are going to add some shading to our tag here. So I'm going to grab my grid paper. We're going to add some shading to our bag with our cloud cover and our blending brush, just like we did with the card. So we're going to go just here in the center. Then I'm going to take the snowflake stamp and I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to just randomly stamp some snowflakes. Okay, close up that ink. Then I want to grab my little tag and our sentiment again that says, "We wish you Merry Christmas." I'm going to grab the gray ink. This is basic gray. We are going to stamp that right on our tag. I'm going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. We're going to put them on the back of our tag. Just 2. Take those backings off and we'll stick that to the center of our tag here. I'm going to grab our little snowflake, and we're going to add a mini dimensional. Oops. Okay, I'm going to grab a mini dimensional and just put our mini dimensionals. I'm going to put one there, and then I'm going to put another one here across from it. Take those backings off, and then I'm going to stick that snowflake right here. We're going to grab our ribbon and bring that up through our little bag. And then I'm going to grab a piece of this grosgrain. Say that really fast. garden green chevron ribbon. I keep wanting to call it grow green ribbon. Okay, so we're going to take and we are going to tie a bow here. I'm going to feed this through. I'm going to leave this laying over just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie my bow. Okay, now I want to feed this through my tag. And we're going to tie a knot and another bow. Like that. And I'm going to grab some Wink of Stella. And we're going to do some Wink of Stella on our snowflake here. Just to make it shiny. Because it's Christmas and Christmas deserves a little shiny. And then we're going to do the same thing over any of the little snowflakes here that are showing. And there you have a super cute little treat box. All right, and that is day 10 of treat box and cards. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate that you're here, and if you enjoyed today's projects, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you go back and you watch the replays of the other days on the playlist below, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a Merry Christmas and happy stamping.